So this Monday, on January 17th, 2016, is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And to some people, they just see it as like a holiday or a day off. And to many others, they know what he did, but not to the full extent or very well. But for many people, we really appreciate him and everything that he did for us. So I just wanted to pay tribute to him by saying everything that he did for us and everything that is continuing to be done because of him. Before I can say what he did, I have to start from the root. Slavery was abolished on December 6th, 1865, and of course there was still major racism because in the Bible, well, Christians in the South, in the Bible, it mentioned in many verses that white skin was more angelic or beautiful than any others. So naturally they thought, if it's better, we're better. We deserve to be better because God wants us to be better. So of course they needed ways for them to still be better than the black people, but they couldn't be slaves anymore. So they created the Jim Crow laws to keep them separated. So that was segregation. So black people would have to go to different schools, they had to drink out of different fountains, they had to go to different entrances, wait in different places. And so yeah, that happened for about 100 years. Martin Luther King Jr.'s march and I Have a Dream speech was on August 28th, 1863. And there he really opened up the eyes to many people and like showed them what they were doing or what the US was doing was not right, and then it needed to be fixed. So the very next year the laws were abolished on July 2nd. So of course that wasn't just the end of everything. There was still racism, people still wanted to be better than others. And the very next year after that, the 15th Amendment was finally passed, giving black men the right to vote. Not women. Women weren't allowed to vote until much later, but overall, black men were allowed to vote. So here we are in 2016. Everyone's allowed to vote now. But, you know, it's not over yet. There's still racism. There's still inequality. Just all these things and new things that come with the new age that just go against the black community. So by all means, we have gotten so far because of him, and I am very thankful for that, but we are still going. He started paving the road that we're still continuing to build. So first thing I want to talk about, I have them written down right here. Just equality in general. People, there's all these stereotypes against black people being uneducated, loud, noisy, ghetto, thugs, ratchet, and that's just what the media makes them look like. And it's horrible. It's like an example when people say or go up to a person of color or a black person and say, "Oh, you talk white." You're saying that because they're educated, they sound white. So white people are supposed to be educated and black people just aren't. So that just doesn't make sense. There's this thing, cultural appropriation. So black culture is now becoming just pop culture, but the black people aren't getting recognized for it. So a culture or an ethnicity, heritage that do things to improve their life or as part of their customs or something, and then they get made fun of for having those things, but then somebody of another culture, ethnicity does that to make it trendy or cool. Like examples like dreads and cornrows and braids, like they're all protective hairstyles that were used in black culture for generations and generations, and people always get made fun of for having them. But then when white people have cornrows or whenever they have dreads, it's super cool and like super trendy. It's like, no. And then also big people in media like Kylie Jenner and like many others, they get lip injections and butt implants because it's cool and tan their skin when black people naturally have those qualities and they get made fun of for having big lips and all that stuff. But yet white people are like, oh, that's so cool to have on us. It's so weird. And then that also leads to colorism, which is not racism, but a difference in the black community itself, with the thought that people who are mixed or have more Eurocentric features are prettier or better than just full black people, which is, it's not because of the black community, it's because the media is forcing the idea that white is better. So more Eurocentric features equals better, which is not the case. And it's a problem within our own community, which is really sad to me. When you say, oh, you're really pretty for a black person, or are you mixed, you're implying the fact that their beauty comes from a non-black part of them, saying like, oh, if you're black, you're not supposed to be pretty, you're not supposed to be handsome, you're not supposed to be beautiful. That's also very bad. Justice/law. So we all know people of color in the law, it just doesn't mix. Many people think, well, maybe they shouldn't have been breaking the law, or maybe they shouldn't have like ran from the cops or something. No, that's not just the case. I mean, sure, that might be, but it's not just them. You see a lot of colored people and black people in jail, but that's not because they're the only ones that do crimes. Other people, white people, they do crimes too. It's just that it's surpassed and just swept under the rug like it's nothing. And then many people of color get pulled over for no reason, treated very badly. Sandra Bland recently, she was pulled over for no reason. The cops stated she was pulled over for an inadequate reason, and she was found dead in her jail cell. How does that happen? It was a suicide, says the police department, but why? She wouldn't. Mike Brown, who was killed, he had his hands up, universal sign of saying, don't shoot. He was like over 10 feet away from the cop. The cop shot him numerous times to his death. What could he have done unarmed, 10 feet away with his hands up in the air to make the cop feel like he needed to shoot him? Not too long ago, a 12-year-old was killed within 2 seconds of a cop showing up to the scene because he was playing with a fake gun that had the tip removed. Now I see many people saying, well, maybe he shouldn't have had the plastic tip removed or whatever. 2 seconds, a cop pulls out his gun, sees a kid, a black kid with a fake gun, and shoots him. That's not investigating the problem. That's not seeing if he's a threat. That's not giving him commands to follow what he says, or else he will shoot him. That's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to tell you better do this and this, or I will taser you, or I will shoot you. He did not do that. You cannot do that in 2 seconds. 2 seconds is pulling up, looking at the suspect, pulling out your gun, and shooting him. He is dead now. Dead. Also, there is a whole Black Lives Matter movement going around, which is very beautiful. Many people not even in the black community are Black Lives Matter activists, which is very great. But now people are saying, oh, it's not just black lives that matter, it's all lives that matter. Yes, all lives matter, but it's not being treated as such as it should be. You don't see people going around with signs saying all lives matter at protests. No, that was pretty much used to tell everybody to just shush, okay? If all lives matter, then treat it so, okay? Don't be calling people the N-word, don't be arresting them for no reason, don't be doing all that stuff, and it's just, it's crazy. Respect the way that you treat people. I mean, you may not even notice, but things that you do can upset someone or make them feel different. Like, there's this thing called casual racism, but people really don't know what it is because it's so casual. It's an everyday thing. Things from like saying, oh, can I touch your hair? Or like, oh, you're so pretty for like a black person. Or what did you do to make your hair like that? That stuff. It may seem like a compliment to you, like when you say it, but to the other person, you're like making them feel excluded, or like they're a freak, or like there's some like really different from everyone, and not in the good way. And it's just stuff like that, and then it's just, it needs to be worked on. Also, why do white people want to say the N-word so much? It was a word that was made to separate black people from white people in the old days. It's still the same thing today. I mean, yeah, nobody uses it as frequently, but why? Why do you want to say it so bad? Like, I get black people saying it, kind of, to me, it's like them laughing at the word, saying, oh, really? Like, that's how you want to be? But when white people, you just can't say it. If you're not black, just don't say the word, please. The Confederate flag. Why do so many people in the South wear the Confederate flag like it's some sort of brand? There's a reason they removed the flag. Yes, I have been across many people, many pages saying, oh, it's heritage, not hate. It was a battle flag for the South. It was a battle flag for the South, for the Confederates in the Civil War. The Civil War was pretty much not just this one reason, but over slavery and being able to have slaves on your plantations and everything. That's not the only reason, but it's one of the biggest keys in it. That flag is pretty much saying, hey, we don't like you. You're not as good as us. We're supposed to be better than you. And just people, like, I have been in instances where people just come at me with facts, like, oh, Abraham Lincoln didn't want to free the slaves. Oh, this is just a battle flag, blah, blah, blah. All these facts feel like, okay, that might have been the case back then, which it probably is not. But why would you wear that flag today? There's a reason why they pulled it out of stores, why they're not flying it anymore. We all know what that flag is used for today. You're not fooling anybody with your facts that you pulled up on Wikipedia, okay? By all means, yeah, we've gotten really far because of Martin Luther King Jr., and I thank him for that. But we're still going and we're still fighting, and then this whole Black Lives Matter movement is helping that, just continuing to build that road. And yeah, so I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you guys in my next video, so like, subscribe.